NYPD cop who went viral back in 2011 for grinding on parade goers is now going viral again, but for a less fun reason. Now, if you don't remember him, he's Gregory Gordon, and back in 2011, he was caught on tape doing this.
The annual West Indian Day Parade in Brooklyn is always colorful. It celebrates the culture of the Caribbean islands. Well, now this video has surfaced on a website called worldstarhiphop.com, and it is spreading all over the internet. It shows New York City police officers in uniform dirty dancing with scantily clad women who were part of the parade. Now, someone at the parade took plenty of video of the officers having a good time in uniform. And while these officers were having fun during the parade, gunfire broke out along other portions of the route. There were at least 2 reported shootings during the parade.
All right, I somehow remember that story, and I don't remember what our commentary on it was, but my guess is we probably defended the cops in that case.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think I would have, but now you guys could look it up and see what we said. But when you just see the picture of him on the girl who's dancing, you think, wait, was that voluntary or involuntary? I don't want them to be doing a dance for West Indies, and this guy comes up on him creeper style, and then
we have the picture. Let's put that up.
Yeah, and so I was a little worried about that, but upon rewatching the video, see that you can't tell if she was in favor of that or not. But upon watching the video again, no, everybody was having fun. Right? He was dancing before any of that happened. Then they come up and start doing this.
Yeah.
And everybody was in on it. So, and I didn't like the way that report sensationalized it with, well, found on worldstarhiphop.com, but later someone else was shot, right? Yeah, somebody was shot, but that had nothing to do with the dancing. Yeah. And they were like, cops spotted having fun in uniform. Unacceptable.
I mean, I don't know if we're just desensitized to everything, but I'd much rather see cops dancing and having fun in New York than some of the other stuff that we've seen. But that's not even the story. That's from back in 2011, and that's how this cop went viral. But now he's going viral for a less fun reason, okay? Apparently, he has posted some pretty questionable things on social media, and he said some pretty terrible things about Bill de Blasio's wife, who happens to be black. So I'll give you an example of that. In a Facebook post, he wrote the following: "Can someone please refresh my memory or explain to me a time when a mayor's wife has ever been able to weigh in on police-related topics ever before? Who cares what this former crack addict says?"
All
right. Okay, so that's one example. Another example is his tirade against those who are arguing the Oscars didn't have enough diversity. He says, "So now the latest complaint is there aren't enough African Americans nominated for the Oscars. Tell me again how there's a white entertainment television channel, but BET is okay."
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but look, it's called ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox.
Yeah. So look, these guys, they always think they're being clever, but you're not getting it. African Americans in this country are a minority. So here, I'll use this example. So in Turkey, if there was a Kurdish television station, I would find it logical because they're the minority in that country, and they're saying, now look, here's where we're going to feature our culture and songs, and it's a different language, etc. Right? They don't need a Turkish entertainment channel in Turkey because that's every other channel, right? Because all the other ones are Turkish. That's relatively easy to understand. But when it comes to America, people are confounded by it. Like how come they get to have a channel? It's not like they won a prize. So it's because they're a minority, and so that they're trying to find a way to have an outlet that they don't otherwise have on all of the other channels. It's not to say there aren't black people on other channels. It's just to say that those channels are not built to highlight that particular culture, which happens to be a minority culture in this country.
Right.
I got to explain it to people because apparently they don't understand.
And BET was created in a time when music television for MTV didn't showcase black artists. And even Michael Jackson used to say things about how MTV played urban artists, from R&B to hip hop when it was growing and things like that. So
that's right.
Throw that in there.
That's exactly right. And you don't have to love BET's programming. At the end of the day, they're trying to make money, right? But that's how it started, and that's why it was created in the first place.
Yeah, I feel like, look, of course what the cop posted was inappropriate to say the least, right? But I feel like this should serve as a cautionary tale. Can everyone just stop spreading their hateful messages on social media? Like, just take a step back, because here's the thing, it is traceable. And even if you think you're being clever, and even if you think you got the privacy settings all right, you probably don't. And someone can either take a screenshot and post it all over the place, or maybe you didn't really make it private. Either way, no one really gives a shit about your opinions. Okay, like let's just keep it real for a second, right? Because with social media, all of a sudden everyone is an expert on everything related to the society. And so you have to share every hateful, bigoted thing that comes through your mind. Just keep it to yourself. Share it with your family members. You don't have to post it online so it can exist for eternity and then come back to haunt you later.
Well, now, but not defending him, but in Facebook, that's more of your personal friends and personal people. It's just now become a little bigger to where people are, you know, like their Facebook pages are kind of becoming public. You got private, but he's just a regular person, so I'm sure. And one of the comments said, I hope your Facebook's private, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's not a regular person, though. He's a public servant. So he has to be careful about the crap that he posts, and obviously he wasn't careful. And by the way, the thing about Facebook being your friends and all people in your personal life, no, it's not. I wish that was what it was. But
that's what it used to be.
You meet someone for like 30 seconds and you immediately get a friend request. And it's like, I don't want to add you, but I also don't want you to hate me for not adding you, right? This is a very personal page that I want to keep personal. And unfortunately, like now it's become like this weird political thing where you feel like you have to add everyone.
Well, can you add me now since it's been a few months? Or
It's got awkward all of a sudden. So look, you know what's happened? Basically, sports talk phenomenon, but on a mass scale. Like in the old days, there's one thing that every guy thought they knew. It was sports. Yeah. And so they'd all call sports radio, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, that guy, you know, Rodriguez is a bum. Yeah. Why do we pay so much money with that bum, right? Et cetera. Now we are all experts on everything, on politics, on race, et cetera. But this is more like a cautionary tale to knuckleheads. Right? If you're a cop, you're going to get in trouble. If you're a teacher, you're going to get in trouble. There's certain categories you're going to get in trouble. And Kenny's right. There's one comment that says like, and it goes to the heart of like what's happening as a society. Like, hey man, I hope your Facebook page is private. Totally agree though.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, I don't want to be caught.
That's like the Trump phenomenon, right? Like, oh, I didn't know I could agree with you, but I agree with you in private. Right?
You know what the seemingly surprising part about this is? Because they linked it back to him in 2011 grinding on these West Indian women, right? It's like, well, how does he hate black women when he was dancing with them, seemingly having a good time? A lot of people who hold ill will towards certain groups, of course, want to see them only as sexual objects. Which is why there's been problems with things you see. Remember the Taylor Swift video with the women bending over and everything? The black women were like the props of the video. And there was this huge outcry about Taylor Swift putting that in the video. And they were like, well, she's got them in there because she likes them. And people were like, well, what does it look like? So he sees them as objects. I can grind on them. But when it comes to something serious like a black woman talking about police procedure and the way we treat other citizens, get off my page. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not worth that much. You're only worth me grinding on. Yeah. So there's a surprise that, oh my God, like he actually said something bad. I thought he liked black women. No, not necessarily.
That's a really good connection. And look, I want to clarify one other thing. I'm not saying like don't ever share your opinion on social media. No, of course share your opinion, right? Like you come across an article that you think is interesting and you want to share your thoughts on that. Cool. Right. But I'm just saying like take a step back, think about what you're saying, and think about whether or not there's some civility to what you're saying before you post it, right? Opinions are fine, but when you post things specifically to be hurtful and specifically to say outrageous things, well then you're not helping anyone. You just look like a jackass.
And by the way, I want to be clear about this. It wasn't just with blacks. This guy's going off on everybody. Let me read the other two quotes. He said, are you fucking kidding me? If you have a dick, you belong in the men's room. Way to go, de Blasio, referring to transgender people being in the appropriate bathrooms. And on Muslims, he talked about the guy in Nice doing the attack. He said, so the driver was named Mohammed. Go figure. See what happens when a mass exodus of people infiltrate a country. Now,
intelligent.
Yeah. Well, people who consider themselves intelligent say things like that too. But one of the reasons you're going to get in trouble if you're a cop is because as a cop, we're hoping that you treat everybody equally. And when you're patrolling the streets out there and you have a lot of power and you have a gun and you have a badge and you have all these things, you're not like, oh, Mohammed figures. Oh, yeah, there's a tranny. Say offensive things like that, right? and treat them differently. And oh, the blacks, I know what they're all, crack addict. No, that's the mayor's wife, right? So that's why you should be careful, because you don't want to get fired, but you should also be careful because please don't do that. We're paying your salary to treat us equally and to protect us and to serve us. So that's why this is deeply troubling. Like, everybody was having fun when you were dancing, but this is not fun.
Yeah. And also, just, for the record, the West Indian Parade is the bomb. I don't know if y'all ever been.